Hello, and today is Sunday, the 18th of March, 2012. In this video, I'm going to go over 5 reasons, according to Truth Never Told, why the American riots will be the worst in the world. Follow that up with the gold and silver daily charts on a technical analysis basis. Then finish this off within a 5-year timeline of events within the Truth Movement community, with the first few events being singular to myself and the last events to the macroeconomic picture. Let's get started. This morning, I had noticed that Russia Today, the main Russia Today channel, was taken off or taken down by YouTube, which it doesn't surprise me too much. It was placed back on, and then I found out later then that Occupy Wall Street had been evicted again. And I thought, well, maybe I should do some searching for the reasons why it was evicted so I could report what the mainstream was stating. And after about 7, 8 minutes, 9 minutes of searching, could not find it. But I did find this via that search. So I thought, let's report on this. If you want to see this video, it's a good video. Just do a search for 5 reasons why American riots will be the worst in the world. And again, that's from vlogger Truth Never Told. The 5 reasons were arrogance, denial, narcissism, drugs, and violence. And the author of that video did not mention the fact that because Americans have so many guns that, well, it's probably going to be bad. And the 2 reasons why I state that is, one, from what Gerald Celente says, when people got nothing left to lose, they lose it. Secondly, let's do a example. If you have like a dog that you are always beating down, at some point it's going to say, screw you, I'm going to fight back. And that's the same sort of, trying to think of a word to describe it, ideology or comparison that would take place, that the police departments and mainstream outlets, they're not listening to us, so yeah. Okay, so let's now go on to the charts. We're going to take a look at the daily chart for silver, daily chart for gold, and let's get started. I've talked a lot about this 32 2/3 level, and it was both bearish and bullish to bounce from here. It bounced from here, recording a lower high. It has now since record a lower low. It's got to get above this high for the trend of lower highs and lower lows to be breaking down. And in reality, it is not a pattern of lower highs and lower lows, because you got 2 lower lows and you got 1 lower high, singular. But once you establish a lower high and go lower, then that would be the case. I'm just saying that as a technical level, be it on exact words and such. But as far as this is concerned, when you came down here, this reduced the chances you'd find support at this level, therefore increasing the chances that you'd break down below it. 2 straight days finding resistance at this level. That means it's not uncommon for it to just break down now as it is, or even after maybe a little bit of a rally that would establish the pattern of lower highs and then make it down. Most likely the target again is the $30 level. From failed moves could oftentimes come fast moves. This is a failed move. I need this thing to go down to this area here for it to be a fast move. And if this breakdown is a failed move, well, we'll have to wait and see. The next chart is gold on the daily chart, and it hasn't held the first level like silver has thus far. And I'd be surprised if this is the bottom on this pattern, because it just seems that maybe the Fibonacci retracements are just a little too perfect, which means that you'd think that it's at least going to come down to this level. And again, just like silver, maybe it bounces, making this lower high before it does it. And again, no. Let's go over the timeline of different events. The first few will be individual for myself, and then it's going to finish off within the macro picture. Personally, myself, in the summer of 2007, that's when I was introduced to technical analysis. A very smart individual showed me a few charts, was talking in a similar terms to like sports gambling and poker, that it's a way of using skill to be a winner, and there's technical analysis. The first pattern that I was told was the head and shoulders pattern, and so on and so forth. Then a few months later, it was gold on fire. Before the charts that seemed so great was Google and potash. And well, next thing you know, gold was breaking $700 an ounce. Oh my, oh my. Okay, October 31st, 2007. I'm watching a video. A vlogger mentions colony collapse disorder. Now, a lot of people would disregard it, maybe think the person is crazy. Myself, you'd think that people would search for something like this. Obviously, I know that's not the case now, but they didn't. I did. The next day, as I was continuing my search on colony collapse disorder, finding more information, another vlogger within the search talked about, well, this has everything to do with the Mayan calendar. And I'd look at him and I'd say, the Mayan what? Well, again, maybe that's something I should look at. And, well, you get the whole 2012 story. Months and months go by, and now it's January of 2008. We're starting to see 200 and 300 point down days and consecutive days. Markets are breaking down. Technicals are not looking good. Geez, this is all playing into the whole 2012 thing. Maybe, just maybe, I should be searching the letters ECONOMY. Why? Because this is an important subject. Yeah. February, March is when I found Man of Truth, Vision, Victory, Peter Schiff. And I try to remember some other vloggers. The only one I can remember is somebody that got an average of 20 views. 30 views and then shut down. His name was Depression Insurance, and he was trying to really cheaply sell packets to preparing for this type of stuff. But people were getting into the community on March to July of 2008. Seen some documentaries like Money is Dead, Zeitgeist Addendum. Basically, the educational time frame of learning how currency is created. I noticed by the summer of that year that the truth movement had begun. And in March of 2009, the market's bottomed, now at 6,500, and so does the Truth Movement in the sense that maybe it's topped or that the new viewers of Truth Movement was going to diminish. Basically, what I'm saying is the vast majority of people who are involved in the Truth Movement community were doing so by March of 2009. In April of 2009, that's when we had the H1N1 flu virus, the swine flu, and I have this leading to nothing because I don't know if it's going to lead to something or not. They were saying within the truth community at that time frame that if you take the flu shot, it's just going to give you so many bad long-term effects, whether that's going to be the case or not. That's why I got this question mark in here. All months of 2009, greatest silver buy ever, as the markets were rebounding from the bottom of 8.5 per US dollar ounce, and you have prices at 12, 13, 14, 15. It was just so simple to determine if it was a good buy or not. And I felt a little bad going into coin shops and exchanging fiat debt notes or paper rectangles for bullion silver. April the 20th, 2010. Oil spill leads to nothing, question mark. A lot of people, again, were saying that this was an inside job and, oh man, this is going to be the end of things. Well, quite frankly, nothing much has transpired since then. May the 6th, 2010, the flash crash in equities. You know, there was an article that was stating the reason why the stock markets lost like about 800 points in about a half an hour was because that there was this one anonymous trader who accidentally pushed the B, the letter B on the computer. Look down on your computer beside the V and the N. That's where you'll find B. They pushed that instead of the M, which is beside the N. So they pushed B for million instead of M for million. That caused the greatest short-term crash we had ever seen. Of course, if you would have told me that back in here, that there would be a situation where the crash would occur, I would have agreed with you, yes. But then by stating that would be the reason they would state, yeah, right, because if that were the case, people would wake up. So, no, that doesn't make sense, but people didn't wake up. August the 24th, 2010, that's when the silver bull market begun. Silver broke out from the 1774 low. March the 11th, 2011, Fukushima leads to nothing, question mark, and I really hope that it does lead to nothing, but quite frankly, I don't have my hopes up, let's put it that way. As a lot of independent researchers have done with Geiger counters, have determined that radiation levels are really bad in North America. again, I hope it leads to nothing, not sure. But when you hear stories like, oh, we don't need to test radiation anymore, it kind of makes you wonder. May the 1st, 2011, two things occurred. The silver crash begun and Osama bin Laden had passed away. I figured that this was going to be the worst mistake that they'd make because people would wake up to what happened on 911. Wrong. Didn't happen. And not only that, but just like the story of the flash crash was kind of not making sense, the reason why silver crashed was because of news that Osama bin Laden had been killed. Yet the silver crash occurred hours before the death of Osama bin Laden. And this was again reported by the mainstream media, July of 2011. The debt ceiling has become mainstream, 10,000 times fold more than the previous debt ceiling limit. Again, this is what's going to surge people to waking up to how currency is created. But no, that didn't happen. Instead, they decided to pass a bill to increase the debt limit for like the 150th time or whatever time it was. And then the stock markets re-rallied and we could all forget about it. No, September the 17th, 2011, Occupy Wall Street begins. Well, I guess I was right in saying that was going to get pretty big. That's what I stated at the time. And we've had, of course, 2 evictions of it. Quite frankly, when the weather gets warmer here in 2012, I would expect the revolution, if you will, to trump what occurred in 2011. Now, the weather's getting nicer now. I don't know what the weather's like in New York City or Pittsburgh or Philadelphia or Montreal. But here in Toronto, it's extremely beautiful, but it's also unseasonal. Therefore, what's going to happen in April, May, June, we'll just have to wait and see. September 22nd, 2011, a 2-day silver crash occurred where the markets went from about $40 an ounce down to $26. And in February 2012, Greece is burning. Now, what I had figured was at some point, one of these events or even another event not written on here, as there's been many, would trigger people to waking up and then finding the information, given how easy it is to find. But no. Or maybe someone would happen to be at a water cooler with somebody else at the office lunch break, and then one person talks about the Occupy Wall Street or Osama bin Laden dying or the flash crash, and then boom, that person has been told that, well, we have a fiat currency that's backed by nothing, that's guaranteed to cause massive debt and stuff like that. Oh, really? Then maybe I should go on the internet and figure this thing out some more. But no, that didn't take place. Final note, the whole wake-up call, if you will. It's almost like saying, what's 2 plus 5? Now, how confusing would it be if you were trying to explain to somebody that 2 plus 5 equals 7, and they look at you very confusingly that it's 7? All I want you to do is give me tangible reasons for why 2 plus 5 equals 7. I don't care if you put 2 fingers on your left hand and count there's 2 there, and then you put all 5 fingers on your right hand. I'm counting 7. That's a tangible reason for why 2 plus 5 is equal to 7. Maybe you're having fun drinking some beers and you take 7 of your empty beer bottles and you count, well, there's 2 beer bottles here, and then there's 5 bottles here. That means 2 plus 5, well, that's how we get 7. Well, that's pretty easy. But I'm saying this as in, I'm explaining to you why the currency system is destructive. It's fairly easy, yet they don't understand. So I don't know what's needed for them to understand. I wish I could tell you, but I can't. But I will say thank you for tuning in and have yourself a great day. Bye-bye.